I think we misunderstand the point of NoFap, and I see some channels that they are talking about that for like 2 years or more. I will split this video in some parts. First, I will talk about something that happened with me this week, and then I will go into the topic of NoFap. But like, it will be the only video I think I will talk about this. I can talk about this again, but I will not make like a lot of videos about the subject. I don't see a lot of sense in that. So, returning to what I was saying, this week I have felt I was like for more than 3 months. I started the year in this NoFap journey, not because I want auto development or something like that, but more for a spiritual meaning. I have my beliefs, and like I'm Christian, so there's no point for me of live a life like this. And my past in this situation is very complicated. Not only my past, but my present moments sometimes, because when I was a teenager, first of all, I have my first contact with adult content by, I think, 11 years old, 13 years old. Yeah, by that. And during my teenage years, I had, I have developed. I think you understand the social phobia for 3 years, and in that time, I would masturbate every day, sometimes more than one time for a day. So I had big problems with that situation. But the time passed by, and I I had more control about this. And yeah, my adult life very wasn't very affected by this. Like not in an addictive way. A time or another, I could be doing those things, but it wasn't something impulsive like it was before. But the last years of my life, I always try to have this big uh, amount of days and months without let me doing this type of thing, because it's because it has a lot of things that the nofap can implies in our lives, and I would like to have some of those advantages, and I will talk about this a little. And okay, so basically this year I was okay about this. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. To be honest, it has been my most radical year in this meaning, because I got rid of social media, games, and everything that could possibly leads me to this path of the content or thing with girls and etc. But nothing happens from nothing. Okay. Uh, as I said, this is something very complicated for me, because I believe it's my weakest point for you guys to understand. 3 months, 3 weeks ago, uh, I had this thing we call nocturnal emotion. I don't know if you guys know about this nocturnal emotion. It happens when you ejaculate during your sleep. So 3 weeks ago, uh, the week have 7 days, and 4 days of those 7 days I had this. For you guys to have an understanding, and I wasn't consuming any type of thing. I wasn't doing or thinking something that would lead me to this type of problem. No, I wasn't feeding my imagination with wrong things, but it happens anyways. I was very preoccupied because I was thinking some type of spiritual thing, but I'll not go deep into that right now, as I am only talking about this. But anyways, after that, 2 weeks ago, uh, I perceived that I started doing going to the wrong way. I don't have Instagram on my cell phone, but I accessed it from my notebook where I am recording right now. And yeah, I started looking at Instagram, and you know what we have there. I wasn't having a problem with the scrolling thing. Like, I would spend uh, maybe 30 minutes. The largest amount of time would be like 30 minutes looking at Instagram. But the problem wasn't the scrolling thing, it was what I was seeing. That was all those girls and etc. Then the times the time was passing by, and you go deep, you know. So this week, uh, I got out of Instagram and started seeing other things. And yeah, basically, I ended up in the adult content, and I felt this week for 3 days. But first of all, I want to say something. When you develop a certain maturity, you understand this. Like, at this time, I'm not ashamed of talking about that. I'm not feeling guilty and everything because I think it's pointless unless you try to get up and continue. There's no point about any other things. So I already decided that I'm gonna go back to my last routine where I wasn't having problem with this, and I will stop what I had what I did this week. So I felt bad at the time. I asked forgiveness for God, and I believe He renews our mind, our spirit every day. And now I'm more stable. Uh, I'm sure that I will return to the right path by today. And when I woke up today, I do this basically every day. I read a passage of the Bible. If you're not spiritual, it's okay. Don't mind about that. But I have to say that because it makes a lot of sense. I had saw this verse. I'll search it here. Psalm chapter 51. And it wasn't intentional, okay, guys? It was something that uh, I was leaded on. This this psalm happens when David. This psalm happens when David he cheats on his friend, putting his friend to go to the front line of the war, and this friend of him dies, and then David gets his wife for him. So he kill he kills his friend because he wanted his wife. And this psalm is David talking to God after this happened. and ask for mercy and forgiveness. So I will read only some verses. On the first verse, we have him say, "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love, according to your great compassion. Blot out my transgressions, wash away all my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. Cleanse me from my sin." In the verse 7, that it what came for me to read today. He says, "Cleanse me with hyssop or hyssop, I don't know. Cleanse me with hyssop, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones you have crushed rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all my iniquity. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me from your presence, or take your Holy Spirit from me." And then there's another verse, but I will not remember. Oh, okay. You do not, verse 16. You do not delight in sacrifice, or I would bring it. You do not take pleasure in burnt offerings. My sacrifice, O God, is a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. You, God, will not despise. So basically, this is the verse. As I said, I felt for 3 days, and on the first fall, I remember about another passage. It's the passage of Peter. He basically cheated on Jesus, and after he denies that he met Jesus for 3 times, the chicken sings. I don't know how I can say that, but yeah. And I remember this because I cheated on God and I cheated on myself. So what I have to feel at the time, I already felt. I know my mistakes, and I asked for forgiveness, for mercy of God, and I am decided to go back to the right path. So the NoFap is a very good thing, uh, for any case. Mostly if you deal with problems with adult content or addiction in the masturbation thing. If that's your case, the NoFap is basically an obligation for your life. If you already you have more control, you're okay with it, I think it's important for some other aspects. Like if you're on the development of your life, if you're focused on that, I could say for you that NoFap will give you more energy. The NoFap will give you more energy. It will give you um, more authenticity when you have social interactions, because you're not, I don't know, but the masturbation thing gives you this sense of like, I am dirty. I could say that. So when you on a fab, you feel more honest, you feel more authentic, and it affects your relationships. Oh, it gives you more self-control also. It can makes you have more hungry for things in general. I could say that too, because when you're like constantly masturbating, it's like your energy and your focus go to that thing, and you don't have this for other things. So when you do no fap, you will see more of the world, what the world has to offer to you. Basically, is that. And I think the most important that is, if you head into the spiritual thing, the thing is, if you're on OFAP for the right reasons, you will be a more righteous person. You will be more saint in the sense of it approaches you from God. Of course, there's the other advantages that I already said, like self-control, uh, this good energy, eager from other things, good things. Yeah, basically it's that your life will improve, of course. You will be more creative, I think, too. You will be less concerned about some things of your life. And now something that I saw that really hit me this this week is because I was in a, a very good streak in my day in general. I was having good days, productive days. I would wake up early, go to bed early, and those days that I felt they were like horrible for my sleep. I would sleep late, and even when I didn't sleep late, I would wake up like very late. So it shows me the impact that it really has in your physical energy.